Hello ratbags, it's Jade with your monthly look at all the survival game releases, big info and news about DLCs or huge updates for your favourite survival games. I'm going to be returning to weekly for you guys. I pretty much decided to do monthlies as I was meant to be live streaming every day, Monday to Thursday, giving you the news and lowdown. But I ain't going to lie, that's kind of gone out the window a little bit. I'm just too busy or too tired in the evenings. So instead, I will be back on a weekly basis, giving you the roundup that you deserve about survival games. So if you want to know all the hottest new releases, you want to know about big updates, news, controversial stuff and progress, make sure you are subscribed to me and check out that video that will be returning on every Saturday from now on. So let's crack on with the stuff that's come out in the last few days, what's happening for the August, September and future releases. Let's go. Space Engineers, the survival co-op multiplayer game set in space, obviously as you survive and do all sorts of creations, has released its brand new DLC pack, the Heavy Industry Pack. It's like $4, $5, something like that, and it's available for Xbox and PC. Adds a bunch more stuff to it, lots of big reskins as well. That's what you generally get. It's also coming with a free update too. The free update does include some nice freebies for everyone, with a focus I think on magnetic floor plates and stuff that you can maybe interact with and do things with. And then you buy the actual proper pack and that gets you reskins for a lot of the stuff that's in the game. I can't say I've delved too much into Space Engineers, it's just a bit too complicated for me, and the Xbox version really wasn't up to scratch when I saw it release. Maybe it's improved, maybe it should be something I'll give a go in the future, who knows. And moving on to its competitor, this is Starbase. This is another big space survival game, but this is a proper MMO where the emphasis is on actually building a huge world, having proper economy with possibly hundreds, maybe thousands of players. It's just launched into early access on Steam after being in betas for a good couple years now. It's made by the same developers that made the Trin series, completely different set of games, but yeah, pretty interesting. It's really in depth, again it looks like something that's above my brain cell power. Only PC at the moment, I can't imagine we see this on consoles, but then again I maybe said the same thing about Space Engineers once. It's pretty expensive for an early access release, it's like over 30 quid. And they're saying that it's an alpha. They've got a big roadmap of stuff they're planning in the next 6 months, and it seems to be filled with all sorts of stuff, but also seems a little bit bare bones for the price it's charging. I don't know, you guys let me know. I'm always going that indie games are great, maybe we should pay more for them, but early access games, I still think they should be a little bit cheaper. The hypers behind this game are saying it is what Space Engineers should have been, with proper multiplayer, proper big MMO space features. I do believe it's also got its own like coding stuff going on in it, so you really may need them big brains to try this one out. Includes PvP as well, and yeah, like I said, it's out now in early access. Scum, the open world survival game that's been in early access for over 3 years now, has had its 0.60 update go live, and it adds a bunch of brand new motorbikes as well as this brand new variant of a pickup truck and a huge rewrite of its metabolism system. It's pretty much famous when it first arrived on the scene for having a really in-depth look at metabolism, basically making sure you've got a right amount of nutrients, proteins, fats and stuff to survive on an island as you are kind of controlled by a reality TV product. The game has gone through many changes over the years, lots of updates constantly, and alongside some of their more bigger components, they've also added revolvers and a lot more to do with their metabolism skill points, so you'll get more increases. It's a lot to digest really, unless you're a proper Scum player or content creator on it. You definitely need to go and catch up with some regular ones to get a much more detailed feedback about what exactly the update contains. But yeah, that's the Cliff Notes. It only went live like a couple of days ago, maybe even yesterday, so check it out if you've got it. Last Oasis kicks off Season 4 on August the 5th. This will be coming to Xbox and the PC. They're also making big changes. They tried for Season 3 to add realms, basically smaller clusters of maps, so that you maybe wouldn't get rolled over by the big boys. That coincided with the launch of Xbox. Now the Xbox players have had some baby steps to get used to the game. It looks like they're going back to having one huge shared world. So you could literally go and fight all the Chinese if you really want to, anywhere you want, team up with your friends and stuff like that. They're also introducing much better ways that you can host your own servers. It's been a big criticism, it's been really difficult and hard, so they're simplifying the process and you will now be able to host your own on PC as well. Although it doesn't look like you'll be able to host your own on Xbox just yet, or even rent a server if you're on an Xbox, if that makes sense. Although it is crossplay, so you must be able to somehow. They're also adding a bunch of cosmetics as part of the new season that you will kind of be testing out the cash shop that will eventually appear in the game. But during early access, it does look like it's going to be bought with just in-game items the whole way through. And that will also have access to that on Xbox, but you'll be using a different in-game currency. So yeah, looking good. Last Oasis, I loved the game when it came out, but it just didn't have enough content and just not enough big player base to carry it on. Hopefully it carries on getting stronger. A game I'm very excited about. I saw a demo of it being played about a year ago, I do believe, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. Void Train. Now, I haven't spoke about this too much. I put it into a couple maybe news videos, but basically it's an interstellar sort of adventure survival game where you are going through dimensions and you've got to build yourself your own workable train. You gather resources, you fight against demonic creatures, as well as some maybe souped up armored dudes with guns, and pretty much try and build your train so it can get through this weird universe super quick, I'm guessing, gathering wood, gathering materials, and fighting off the space whales. I missed out on actually being able to play it. I remember downloading the demo, but I just run out of time, so I really am excited about giving this a shot. And it's got a proper release date. It's going to be coming to Steam on August the 12th. But even more good news, if you're on Xbox, it does look like it is going to be a game preview game as well. They did announce in a bunch of Xbox shows that Void Train would be coming to Xbox in the future. No release date yet about the Xbox launch, but I'm very excited about trying Void Train. Expect to see a lot of content on this game when it comes out in August. Now actually, I've said Steam, but the trailer does say Epic Games. It'd be interesting if it doesn't appear on Steam, as they had a demo on it last year, so I'm pretty sure it must come out on both. Either way, I'm buying it, it's hyped. One game I won't be trying on that same day is Icarus. The devs have just announced that the game will be delayed now until November. This is the game that's made by the creator of DayZ, Dean Hall. This is his studio's second game, and they're pushing it to be like Deep Rock Galactic with a little bit more seriousness as you crash land onto planets, or go down to planets I should say, gather resources, get some really exotic materials, and then hopefully escape and upgrade your character. It is like a hardcore game. If you don't make it off the planet in time before the weather gets you, that's it. You lose all your progress, all the resources that you've got. You've got to fight off all sorts of creatures as you try and make a home on the planet for a limited amount of time. It's obviously going to be a co-op game, I do believe up to 8 players. I had planned a series of previews on the game, but now it's been delayed. I think I'm also going to delay some of them previews to a bit closer. There is some good news though. They're going to be running a bunch of closed betas, I do believe, starting at the weekends on the 28th of August. So yeah, any more news about that, I'll be the first to drop it to you. And yeah, it's coming out now in November instead. New World is riding a wave of hotness right now. The open beta seems to be still being very successful at the moment. I should say closed beta, because you do need to pre-order the game or have been chosen when you signed up for it. 200,000 players are playing it. It's had huge amount of interest and it's getting pretty good critical reviews. Players and especially a lot of the industry know-hows are saying it might be one of the best new MMOs in years. I'm sure it's still got a litany of things it's got to improve on. Remember, this beta only runs until like the 2nd of August. The full game release is meant to be on the 31st of August, so only a few weeks later. So yeah, it could be pretty big and spicy for September to get on this, as there isn't a lot going on in terms of survival games. Now strictly, this is kind of weak source, hasn't got a huge amount of survival in it anymore, but definitely a lot of crafting, a lot of foraging, and it reminds me a lot of Conan Exiles. So check it out if you haven't already seen it. I'm sure by now you must have come across it. I'm definitely going to dip back into it once its full release is here at the end of August. Scrapnauts was a game that appeared out on early access back in like March. I tried the demo of it last year and I thought it was pretty good. It was pretty interesting. I think I did try it out when it did eventually appear. So this is a top-down survival game where you play a adventurer running around a map, having to contend with robotic creatures that want to take you out as you try and unravel a mystery and gather resources to build up your base and upgrade all sorts of armors and weapons and stuff. A little bit automation, imagine a bit like Astroneer mixed in with a little bit of maybe Satisfactory, and of course a heavy dose of maybe Don't Starve, and that's what you get with Scrapnauts. So they've got a 1.0 release date. Again, it's only been early access like 5-6 months, but it's going to be coming out in September, and then they still are going to be updating it. They're adding Chapter 2, which is going to add a whole new way to play the game or other items to it. So yeah, I definitely want to revisit this one. I didn't really give it too much of a shot as it was just too busy at the time, but it's one of them games that I'm sure I'm going to check out in the future. Another game scheduled for September, at least on Xbox and PlayStation, is Chernobyl. I've told you guys about this for a while now. It's been pretty much in every show as they kept pushing back the release dates. But it's out now on PC, full 1.0 release. It's been in early access a couple years, but now it's fully fledged and it's getting really good reviews. It's more of a base builder kind of survival game where you'll go out in set sort of areas, try and gather loot, uncover a mystery, but then you'll also be able to make changes or change up the story a little bit. Apparently, if you fail or you die, you'll be able to rewind time and make a different choice and see what the consequences are as you try and find your missing wife in the region of Chernobyl and see what's actually happened, fighting off maybe other stalkers as well as monstrosities. But yeah, you can upgrade your base, get a whole bunch of NPCs to help you out in certain situations, and it's getting, like I said, really good reviews. So it's out now on Steam, coming to Xbox on digital only, and then PlayStation's getting digital and physical copies, and it's going to be available on them platforms on September the 7th. No dedicated PS5 release just yet, so don't expect maybe huge resolution boosts and stuff like that until they really do an update for it. But yeah, cheap enough as well. It's only going to be like 25 quid, 30 bucks, something like that. So yeah, it could be something to really try out. I did have the chance to give it a go. They gave me a key on Keymailer, but I turned it down as I wanted to see what it'd be like on console, so I will try and pick it up on an Xbox or PlayStation when it releases in September. Medieval Dynasty has got a 1.0 release date. It seems like it's only yesterday this game come out. It's available on Steam right now and Epic Game Store, and it's going to be going to full price very soon. It's coming out as a full-fledged game 1.0 on the 23rd of September, and it's going to be increasing its price on Steam on the 15th of August. The full price will be something like $35, £27 or €30 depending where you are in the world. I quite liked this when it came out. It was a bit different. It's a kind of build your settlement kind of game. Not huge amounts going on like a massive huge world. I mean, it's got a nice little world filled with all sorts of little creatures, and they are going to be adding bandits, which will be really good because then it gives the game a little bit more interest, because it is just a bit too cozy running around. You only kind of fight off a bit of wildlife as you try and build up your village and your settlement. So yeah, it's coming out, and hopefully they will bring it to console as the publisher has a big record in that way. They've released a bunch of their previous games onto the PlayStation and Xbox, like Farming Dynasty and stuff like that as well, or Slumberjack Dynasty. Lumberjack Dynasty even. So yeah, I'll let you guys know if it does make an appearance on console in the future, but I'm definitely going to check out the 1.0 release. Hopefully you guys know by now I'll try and show you a bunch of different survival games, not just the 3 biggest ones out there or continuously going over the same old stuff. Last Stand Aftermath is actually the 3rd game in this series. I ain't gonna lie, it's a little bit janky, a little bit rough looking around the edges, but it is going to be coming to consoles. I think this will be the first one to come to consoles, with the other 2 only being PC. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Anyhow, it's got a tentative release date of Q4, and it's going to be coming to Xbox, PlayStation, and obviously PC properly too. It does look okay. It looks like, obviously on the top, a bit more tactical, a bit more strategy. Yes, we're fighting more zombies, but it looks like there's all sorts of things you can do, like get NPCs to help you as you fight off the horde in like a twin stick shooter control system by the looks of things, as you survive in a zombie infected world. So yeah, something maybe a little bit off field that I'm definitely going to try and check out if I can. Releasing some point between October, I guess, and maybe December. So this next one isn't really a release date, as we kind of know it might be coming this year, but Away the Survival series is a game where you take control of a sugar glider. Yes, it's a survival game where you get to be a creature, a bit like Manheater, I guess. It is a bit more glidey, like running around a map or gliding around a map. You will be able to experience more ways of playing by taking over other creatures. You'll be able to play as a mantis and a host of other ones as kind of side little missions. But the main bulk of the game is playing as this sugar glider as you explore and avoid dangers from predators. So the news that broke a couple of weeks ago that I just never got a chance to cover was it is going to be coming to the PlayStation 5. Not huge news, but it's worth pointing out. It's also obviously going to be available on PC, Xbox, PlayStation 4, and yes, now they're doing a proper version for the PS5. So expect all the bells and whistles, much improved frame rates, maybe better looking graphics, etc, etc. Still no proper release date, as I said, at some point this year hopefully. It's been in development a long time. I can't wait to give this one a shout. And finishing off with World War Z is getting a sequel, Aftermath. Now, I couldn't make up my mind whether or not this was actually DLC or what, or if it was going to be like Game of the Year edition, but they've had all that, so this is actually a proper full-blown sequel, and it's going to be coming out this winter time. No confirmed release date as of yet. So the big difference is with this game is that it's going to be able to play it in first person. There are going to be specific game modes or maps that you have to play first person, so it looks pretty interesting. The first game was a massive hit. It wasn't exactly universally hyped up by everyone, but man oh man, it had millions of players. Something like 15 million people have played this game by now. So it's a great co-op experience. I really enjoyed it when I did check it out, but I was just, again, too busy covering everything under the sun. It's going to also include episodes from the last game as well, so almost like a bonus. If you did miss out, you'll be able to play it. You play it co-op, you can play it single player. Looks like they're going a bit mad as well, more on customization and all sorts, fighting off against zombie hordes just like the movie. They've got brand new classes as well, something to do with like a shock trooper, vanguard kind of character with a big electric plated shield, and there's going to be a big focus more on melee weapons, lots of melee finishers and stuff like that. So yeah, interesting take. Obviously we're Back for Blood coming out very soon as well. It definitely looks like a bit more competition for the co-op zombie shooting action. And there we go, that is the next couple months and just a few big bits of news about future releases. As always, like I said, I'm going to try and do this on a more weekly basis. If there's no big announcements about release dates, I'll cover games that have had progress or updates, or maybe revisit a few of them. So like I said, expect to see that every Saturday from now on until I can sort my life out and schedule properly a live stream. Until next time, Ratbags, I'll catch you lot later.